All right, good morning, everyone. TraderRob. Let's get the sessions started. So, first of all, good morning to everyone that's on the chat. Thank you so much for all of the support. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you like the video, and let's make some money here this morning. That's so. One thing that I've been having an issue with on these days that I go live is actually trading like my own cash accounts. So I mean the evals are easy because I got them on my screen up here on the trading screen, but trading on cash has been kind of a challenge. So I'm going to try to do that this morning on whatever setups we do end up getting. So hopefully that works out, but we'll see. Taking a look at oil. So oil is always on the left-hand side of my chart. Pretty much kind of rangy here. Looks like it's pretty much ended up in a range here for the last hour. And kind of the same thing with gold. Had a little dip here this morning. So let's get this expanded out so I can get ready for the session. Remember, oil has got two sessions. It's got a 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. session Central Time. I've had a lot of questions on the sessions. It's very simple. 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Session 1, Session 2, one trade per session. I am currently trading Session 2, which it's been profitable here in May. Let me put up the statistics. So for May, oil session 2 has been up 70 ticks. So on 1 E-mini, which is what I trade on the eval, you would be up $700. Gold is up 136 ticks, which is $1,360. And currently we're one trade down on the 15-minute Rob reversal, just strictly based on the original 35-point stop loss, 35-point take profit. Now, the interesting statistic, which seems to always bite me in the butt, but oil session 1, which I've kind of put on the shelf just because it didn't perform very well last month, and it's just had a few months here where it's just not really been producing well. So, and I also feel really comfortable trading two sessions, so oil session 2 and in gold. Now here is the interesting part. Oil session 1 is up 183 ticks currently. So that would have been up $1,830 if you're trading these oil session 1. To be honest with you, I think that if I would have been trading all three sessions from May 1st, the eval already would have been passed. So we would have been already at over $3,000 on that, because I believe the eval sits right now at 51,246. Pretty much had a scratch yesterday. We'll go into these levels here shortly as well, so you'll see how I map out my levels, and we'll see if there's any type of trades that we can take here this morning. So with oil session 1, remember that, and if you ever are, you're forgetting some of the rules or some of the conditions that I have put into place, which has really helped my trading from over trading, you can always visit my site, which is robstrades.com. I'll put that in the chat. And the nice thing with this site is that if you're trading with any of our indicators or our bots that Money Matt in Discord has graciously coded for us. If you click on Get Your Indicator, one, you'll see a video of the actual strategy and its explanation. You will get a clear set of rules on how to trade the strategy, and then how you can install it, and the downloads. So the first download here for the 15-minute Rob reversal, which looks something like this, pretty much maps your ADMA, gives you your setups on when you're going long or when you're going short, and it will auto trade it for you, which is nice. for those of you that know, I mean, obviously I've got a full-time job, so I am not in front of the charts much past 10 a.m. anyway. So I'll leave this running, and it trades until 1:15, which is my strategy. Now, again, if you're looking for oil strategy videos on here, the rules for the strategies on here, how to install the Autobot, and probably shouldn't say Autobot, that's not the right term. The strategy that will trade this for you automatically if you're looking for it. And the same thing with gold. Now, gold and oil are the same type of indicator. You don't need to download them twice. All you really need to do is open up a CL chart and install the strategy on there. The default is in oil, okay? If you want to use it for gold, all you have to do is open up a GC chart or an MGC chart, which is trading gold, which is what we have right here on the right hand side, and install that same strategy. Just at the bottom where it says templates, choose gold, and it'll automatically default to the gold strategy. The only thing you got to do is just adjust for your time zone. So make sure that you're trading at the same times. Unless you've got different times that you want to trade it, that is perfectly fine. So, well, I say it's perfectly fine for you. For the strategies and the times that I have back tested, those are pretty clear cut. So what we're really looking for in these morning inside bar strategies is just an inside bar. So I've got an indicator on here that I installed that pretty much paints these inside bars. Obviously, if it's an up inside bar, it's green. If it's a down inside bar, it is red. But this just visually helps you see if it is truly an inside bar. I do qualify an inside bar even if it has an equal high or an equal low, or both. Okay, that is still considered an inside bar with me. Some indicators that are out there, especially in TradingView, some of them do not paint the indicator bar if it is an equal high or an equal low. So just make sure that you are using the right type of inside bar indicator. Again, if you're also looking for an inside bar indicator, you can always go onto my Discord. If you go under indicators, there's a whole bunch of indicators that are set up that will help you make your charts pretty much look very similar to mine. So just like a perfect example here was oil session 1, which is currently underway. We're currently looking for gold and in oil. This bar painted green until it made a new higher high than the previous bar. So we no longer have an inside bar. After that, the color disappears and you know that it's not an inside bar setup. So that is pretty much what we're looking for. The only other things I would say just to be careful with on the inside bar strategies is that do not take the first inside bar that appears at 8 a.m. Let's say you're trading oil session 1 and the 8 a.m. 8:05 close candle is an inside bar. We do not take that setup because of the fact that the source bar, which we know is the bar that precedes that inside bar, would be pre-session. So we want to trade within session. So you're really looking for trades starting from 8:05 to 8:10 and beyond. Okay, so just make sure that everybody's kind of on the same page on those strategies. Another thing that I will say is a huge help is Discord. So Discord is free. There's a link in my description below. And I don't know, I would say that there's currently we're about 28 members shy of 4,000 in that Discord group. And it's been fantastic. I mean, it's probably been up for about 11 months since I started the channel. And there is a wealth of information that's in there. And not only is there just a wealth of information, but there is just a ton of amazing members, many who are on the live stream right now, that really just they help others. And that was, I know it sounds corny, but one of the main reasons for starting the channel was, to kind of illustrate that trading is hard. We all know that. It's very, very, very challenging. I think the information that's currently out there on YouTube glorifies trading a little bit too much, makes it seem like it's super easy. And I get it. There's a difference why my channel has 6,000, close to 7,000 subscribers versus another channel that might have been started at the same time that might already have 100,000 subscribers, because when you look at their videos, they're telling you that guaranteed win rate, 100% win rate. And we all know that that's just bullshit. So, but they get the views. They get revenue from YouTube. So I wanted to show that there's ways of realistically trading the markets in commodities, gold, oil, the NQ, the YM, the ES. There is a whole bunch of strategies that are simple enough to trade, simple enough to learn, and will kind of help you with what I believe is the biggest problem in trading, which is revenge trading and over trading. Those are the ones that that really kill you as a trader. It kills your confidence, and most importantly, it does not give you faith in your strategies. The second you lose faith, what do we all do? We open up YouTube, we look at forums that are online, and we look for that next best strategy that's out there that's promising us 95% win rates. It's not out there. Either you got to learn how to trade the markets on your own. You got to follow a strategy that's very simple, and in my opinion, rule-based, condition-based, where you know exactly what it is that you're looking for, what setups you're looking for, when to trade, when not to trade, and how many trades to take per day. That's it. Once you start getting into the discretionary side of trading, it's very difficult for somebody to teach people on that, because there's a reason why it's called discretionary. When it's discretionary, it's up to the end user, the person looking at the charts, to decide what they're looking for. And hopefully you get that set up correctly. So even with my levels trading, which we're going to get into here, just taking a look, we got 2 minutes left on these candles. We currently have an inside bar in oil, and we have an inside bar in gold, which I'm not sure that the gold will still activate here or not, but keeping an eye on it. If we do not get a gold trade here yet, then I will switch over to the levels. We'll map out the levels on the YM, the NQ, and the ES. So I will show you exactly what it is that I'm looking for, and hopefully find a setup here that we can take. There is a good amount of news here this morning. We've got, why does it always do this? Well, we have 9 a.m. U.S. existing home sales. At 9:30, we've got oil inventory, which will affect our oil trade in session 2, typically. And at 1 p.m., we've got FOMC meeting minutes. So we got a pretty busy day here of high impact news. One of the main reasons why I chose Wednesday to do my live trading is that we get to at least get that oil inventory report, and that does move the markets. It moves it pretty damn strongly. So I want to show you guys some ideas that I have when you're trading around that time. Currently about 40 seconds left on these inside bar candles. Oil and gold are both showing inside bars, and oil might right here. Okay, so oil already that trade is no longer in play. Gold still is, so looks like we will take a trade here pretty shortly. Five seconds left. I'm going to put in my orders. The indicator that I use is by Trade Devils. Pretty much all I got to do is hit buy up, buy and sell down, and then it'll straddle this inside bar candle and set up my OCO orders to go either long or short based on whichever way price action wants to go. Random Barbarian. Yes, I will. I don't have ES levels yet, so everything is. I've cleared my charts. We are going to be mapping the ES levels together, and the NQ and the YM. JL, good to hear that. Glad that that's working out for you. Elizabeth, great to see you joining the live. Hopefully you become part of the Discord community as well. It's a pretty good wealth of information that's out there. All right, so now we're just pretty much sitting and waiting on gold, on this gold trade to go on. I have had a lot of questions on the new kind of Apex rules that have come out if you're using Apex as your prop firm. I currently do not use Apex. I use Top Step. That's what pretty much what I started with, and feel pretty comfortable with them. And honestly, they've really never given me a reason to switch. But I have gotten some questions on the bracket orders, because the strategies in gold and oil do require bracket orders to determine if you're going to go long or short. And, there's been some questions as of their new rules not allowing this type of trading where you're setting in order to go either long or short based on price action. So if you read the rules in its entirety, it specifically says that they don't want you trading this style if you are just taking a kind of Hail Mary trade, or it's something that is completely out of the norm for you. If you have a strategy or a system, which is what we currently are trading, and you can show that this is something that you take each and every trading day, this style of trading is still permitted within the Apex rules. Looks like we're probably going to get activated here on a long. So now all I got to do for this trade is I will put my stop loss at the bottom of this source bar, which is 25 ticks, or $250 is what I'm risking. And I'll bring down my take profit to $250, 1-to-1. And now we kind of sit and watch. Again, I wasn't able to take it in cash. It's not quick enough. And I've got this whole screen at the bottom that's all filled with my streaming software. So that sucks. Usually if I don't take a trade in cash, then it'll usually hit. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. So Elizabeth, the NQ indicator, which is the 15-minute Rob reversal, if you look up, I posted a website, which is robstrades.com. If you click on that site, you can download that indicator for free, and it'll show you how to install it and how to use the strategy. All right, so currently up, I think we were up about $130 on this trade. Now remember, the only management of this trade at this point is once we get to 50% once we get to 70% take profit, we will then move our stop loss to half risk. So that'll be about $125 of risk, but we're not there yet. So it looks like we're getting a little bit of resistance here. Come on, gold, give me a little push here. right, so flirting back with our entry. Now we're getting some sellers that are stepping in. Let's see if we can get this level here, this area defended. Does the indicator work in TradingView? No. So the indicators are all coded for NinjaTrader, which is the platform that we're currently trading the strategies on. TradingView really doesn't have a way to auto trade. I take that back. Maybe there is. That's not something that I know of. But there are some scripts that are out there. Again, you could find them in Discord, not like in price action right now here in gold. But yeah, there's in our Discord there has been a few members that have scripted, which would give you something like this. It'll at least give you the setups and the ADMA. So it'll kind of give you, but you still have to trade it on your own. Where on NinjaTrader, you could the strategy will trade it for you. So we're about 140 bucks in profit. Now we're at $160 in the red. This gold trade does not look very good. It doesn't look very promising at this point. But never lose faith. How did I get the red and green trade buttons? So this is an order entry management indicator that I purchased from a company called Trade Devils. TradeDevils.com is the website, and just helps me get into these type of trades. It fits my style of trading with these orders, and I've been using this for probably about 2.5 years. So that's this indicator. And then any indicator that you see on my screen, if it's either the price line indicator, the price line, or this labels, the one thing that I think was really dumb with Ninja is that it's very difficult to see what your take profit and your stop loss is with the default settings. So this indicator here allows you then to see exactly what your profit would be and your stop loss. And all of these are on Discord under indicators, so you can download them, or at least see where to download them from. All right, so still in gold. Let's see if we can. I really need to map out my levels. It's 823. All right, let's switch over to the levels. I'll keep an eye out on this one on my other screen. Not liking price action here. Samuel, aren't we not able to take a long trade because we're under the ADMA? So Sam, you're talking about the 15-minute Rob reversal. That would be correct. If you do get a setup to go long and you're under the ADMA, you would not be taking that trade. The ADMA is the only piece of filter or confluence that I am using on the 15-minute Rob reversal, which is not what we're trading here. Obviously, we're trading our gold and oil inside bar strategy. Now, on the Rob reversal, on the strategy, if you get a setup like this here would be a valid setup. You get a setup to go long. It does close above the ADMA. The only reason why this does not get colored in as a lime green, which means that it's an active order or an active trade setup, is that it's pre-session. So remember, my session starts at 8:30 in the morning at the market open. So this is pre, that's why it's not a valid setup. This is also not a valid setup because it's closing below the ADMA. Same thing here. This would be a valid setup, but this was at 3 o'clock in the morning, and that's not within our session times. All right, let's pull up. Let me pull up the levels. Let's start with the ES, since that seems to be the most popular. ES and the NQ. All right, so for those of you that have been following my levels trades, I post these levels each and every morning. And I've made a few videos. The last video that I created, can't really link it on here, but I'll see if I could put it in the description down below. It goes really in a lot more detail as to what it is that I'm looking for and what actually kind of validates a trade for me or not. So what I like to do is I start off on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, so I will switch from the 15 down to the 5, but I start on the 15, and I considered my 15 minutes my stronger levels. Stronger levels get a solid blue line. That's just something that I have chosen. What I am looking for in these levels is, you can see here, price action was going up. Price action, for one reason or the other, I'm not smart enough to know exactly why, price action halted here and had a very strong change in direction. Okay, then we see another very strong change in direction right where these two bars sandwich up together. So all I am doing is I am placing a line where both bodies intersect. Okay, so I'm not looking to trade the wicks. I am not putting my lines where these wicks are at. It's got to be in the body. The second criteria is it's an area that has not been tapped into yet. So with this line here that I just drew out, would this be a very strong level? No. Because two reasons why. First reason is that the next up bar that we see here that's moving out of this area, what did it do? Before it left, it tapped right back into this line. So there was order sitting there. There's something there that caused it to jet fuel up, but it tapped into this level. It also tapped into this level a few times and has respected it now several times. Every time a level gets tapped into, it starts to lose its strength. So I will just delete this line and I will not have a fresh level there. Now, do we see another area here that had the same type of look to it? Well, sure. We had a clear uptrend. We then had a downtrend. So we coming down, and for one reason or the other, at this level right here, price action shot up. Okay, and has it been tapped into yet? No, it has not. So I will then put my solid blue line at the intersection of both of these areas. Okay, now I will look for as many. What I'm really trying to do is I'm trying to find two 15-minute levels below price action, two 15-minute levels above price action. If there's more, map them. But at least if you can get those two, you can start to kind of build a trading plan. Let's take a look at another scenario right here. Now this next bar right here did not tap into this level, but it came really damn close. So even though I will leave this level right here, it is an area that I will mentally know is not going to be necessarily the strongest. But it will be possible if I can see another setup on a 5-minute time frame, which I'm going to show you guys here shortly, then I will use it. So above price action, we've got a very good scenario. So we were in a range here, tried making a move up, but then we had a very strong movement down from this area right here. So I will take this and I will map these two, intersects both of the bodies, and that is another 15-minute level. So I've got one above us. I see another one right here. So I've now then have 4 levels that I've clearly mapped out on the 15-minute time frame. First one's at 53.46, 53.42, 53.30, and 53.24. Those are my 15-minute levels. Now I have this level from, actually this level's been down here for a couple of days. I didn't delete it this morning because I already knew that this is a setup I've been kind of looking for a while. We have a 15-minute strong level at 53.11. We got a 5-minute level at 53.12. So my idea here has always been that if we can get price action to get down to this 53.12, I could possibly take a long. There is a pretty big gap over here, which I do not like to trade gaps. But we'll kind of get into that in a little bit. Plus, I don't think price action is going to get anywhere near there right now. But obviously, we got a lot of news coming. So let's take a look at our... I tried to fight back. So we're still in that trade. Okay. So now I have switched to the 5 minute. And all I'm doing on the 5 minute is I am looking for the exact same thing, but now on a 5 minute area instead of a 15-minute area. So let's map those out. What do I got here? I've got a downtrend. So we got knocked out. We got knocked out of our gold trade already here this morning. So currently down 250. The only other trade that I'm going to be looking for on the morning strategies is going to be oil session 2, which starts at 9 a.m. We do have oil inventory that's at 9:30, so we'll take a look at that and how that can affect your trade one way or the other. Wow, what a big push. So a little unfortunate here on this trade, but if you can kind of see, you got an area here of 3 inside bars, and then you've got this one bar, which was pretty close to being another inside bar, but it was not. And as I've always stated, 2 inside bars is much better than 1. I still do like to leave my my orders in at the top of the original, the top and the bottom of the original inside bar. So it was a little unfortunate there that that we weren't able to, but you can actually see the compression and the indecision in the market with these inside bars. That's what I truly see in these movements. So even though we did take a loser, the setup and the momentum ultimately was there. We just obviously were at the wrong side of that trade, obviously. All right, so let's take a look at these 5 minute levels. I see a level right here. We got this level at 53.44. This level to me looks like it just got tapped into, but I will take a look. So it almost came right up to this level, and you're starting to see already a little bit of movement down from there. Not a very strong 5 minute level, but I'll still keep it on there. And this one doesn't look very good because it already tapped into it, so I'll delete that. And then let's scroll over and see what else we see here. Ooh, that's a nice one. Got a nice level at 53.33. We got even a better one right here at 53.35. And right where price action is currently sitting at, there was another one, which is, again, it's these levels start to create a trading plan and a trading strategy. So now we've got 4 5-minute levels and we've got 4 15-minute levels. Again, just in case you guys can't see these very clearly, 15-minute levels, 53.46, 53.42, 53.35, I'm sorry, 53.30 on the 15-minute level. 5-minute levels, you've got 53.44, 53.40, 53.35, and 53.33. The nice thing is that I map these out much earlier. Typically, I usually do this around 7:40 a.m., so about 40 minutes before the market opens. And I do post them in my Discord under Rob's levels each morning. So what would we be looking for currently? What I'm looking for is I'm looking to find a clear entry, a clear stop loss, and a clear take profit. Something that automatically just suits my eye. Might not be the perfect setup, but I'm gonna explain it to you what it is that I'm looking at. If we can get price action to tap into this 15-minute level, okay, we are going to get probably a reaction. And what I like to do is I like to target another fresh 5-minute level, which would be right around here. Okay. Now you can say, Rob, well, where would your stop loss be? Well, I would then use this 5-minute level at 53.44 as a stop loss, a little bit above that. Now, why I said that this might not be the perfect trade? well, maybe your risk to reward here is not going to look the best. We're obviously looking for better than a 1-to-1 if we can get it. And this one shows it's tiny trade, so 2.25. And for me to be comfortable with this trade, I'd have to be risking 2.5 points to make 2.25 points. Just to me doesn't seem like a very good trade setup here. I like the fact that I've got a 15-minute level to take a short from. I like the fact that I've got a 5-minute level to take a so I can have a clear stop loss. But my realistic target, which would be at 53.40, to me might not be the most strongest of trades. Now, do you always have to do 1-to-1, 1-to-2, 1-to-3? Yeah, every trader that does videos, always tell you go 1-to-2. I get that. That's a great idea. What I really care more about is I care more about picking realistic targets that my take profit can get to, and clear levels of defense that I can relatively feel that will be defended and not let my stop loss get hit. So there are some very rare instances, I post every trade every day that I take on the levels, that the risk to reward is maybe off a little bit. So just keep that in mind. Because after this, the next best level, in my opinion, you could make a case for one right here, where price action is currently trying to get into. So this would look a little better. Now you're risking almost 1-to-2. An aggressive trade in my opinion, but hopefully you kind of start to understand what it is that I am looking for. Down here, would I take a trade? No, there's nothing here that I like, because let's say, for instance, I want to take a long off this 15-minute level and target this 5-minute level at 53.33. Big problem with this trade is, where's my stop loss? I have no 5-minute level marked off underneath it, and I've got a 15-minute level at 53.24. That's about 6 points of a gap. And to me, it wouldn't make any sense. So that's not a trade setup currently that I would like. Not to say that as price action continues to go on, you have to keep marking your 15-minute levels. So you'll see this level right here has been tapped into several times. Delete it. This level has already been tapped into several times. Might not be the best. Okay, so as price action develops, you start to move these levels to fresh areas where price action wants to go in and touch. Yeah, I was hoping that gold trade would have turned around as well. I actually felt, when I went back to look at the chart and I saw that move up, I felt pretty good about that, but it's on a pretty strong sell. All right, so that's the ES. Let's take a look at the NQ. All right, so NQ, again, we're going to start at the 15-minute. And this, honestly, when you first start out, this might take you 15 minutes, 20 minutes to map these charts out. I can probably do them in about 2 minutes now. I know exactly clearly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to draw a line, but I'm going to tell you why this wouldn't be qualified anymore. So we're on the 15-minute time frame. I like to use solid blue lines on the 15-minute. So this to me is a very strong 15-minute level. Obviously, price action had a very strong reaction down. Where these two intersect, I mean, you could see this wick. This was a 20-point, probably 30-point drop from this level right here. Now, would I consider this level going forward? Once it taps into it once, it diminishes the level. Once it taps into it twice, to me, it's really untradeable. Okay, so here's another 15-minute level. Obviously, we had price action react very strongly out of this area for one reason or the other. I don't know why. So hopefully you don't ask me. This area, this is a good training opportunity right here. Why would I not like this level? Well, this level, this next bar already tapped into it. So not as strong. Where I do see a strong level is right here. You can see it. I mean, you can just visually see you got 3 down bars, you get a strong movement out, and it has not been tapped into yet again. So more than likely, when price action comes back down here, you're gonna see it might blow through it. Nobody can tell you for 100% certainty that it's not going to. But I can almost definitely tell you that there's going to be some kind of reaction at that level for one reason or the other. And here, do we see anything that I can map? No. I could say here, but the problem with this one is, again, this one already tapped into it. So don't like that level. Also, you see a purple box here. That just means that price action, let's see if I can find it right here. Got a huge gap in the market, okay? Do I trade? I get this question asked a lot. Do I trade these purple boxes that I put on my chart? No, I do not. I do not like to trade in this area because there is theories behind tapping into the zone and rejecting, filling these zones. I have no idea what it's going to do. Now, if there was a level that I could like to see in here, possibly we can take a look at it. But currently in this setup, there is no level here. There's no level here that I like. Now, there is a 15-minute level down here at 18,647 that I really do like. And I've got a, and the reason why I like it is for this particular reason. If you get price action to come down to this level at 18,647, look how tight this 5-minute level is. We're at 16,643. That's about a 4-point on the NQ. It's not a lot. This is what I would be consider a very, very bargain type of trade where you can get a reaction off this level, make your 10, 15 points. All you're targeting is you're targeting another 5-minute level. We don't have one right now, but as price action comes down to this area, more than likely it will paint you an area where you can target as a take profit. And your stop loss is right underneath. You could even be in the middle of these two zones, right? Middle of these two levels right here. Okay. So that's the 15-minute. Now let's jump into the 5-minute. Now this is how we start to build our trading opportunities. Let's see, what do we got here? So that 15-minute level we already know that it got tapped into. Let me blow this up here. Like this one right here. Dotted line represents a 5-minute level. And again, you're starting to build trading opportunities. Now this one, you know, again, I started this chart pretty damn late. I started this at 8:20. This would have been done at 7:40. Right here is a perfect trading opportunity that is exactly what it is that I am looking for. I am looking for movement up to this 15-minute level, a rejection of that level. We could even target the other 15-minute level that's right down here. You've got a clear stop loss. Obviously, you know, depending on where your other level is, we haven't mapped that one yet, but I typically like to stay somewhere halfway in between. Now, you can do swing high, you can do risk to reward, you can figure out your stop loss, but you could visually see where that levels of defense start to kind of come into play. Gold had another setup, Carnite. We only take one setup per day in gold. So oil does have 2 sessions, so that could be 2 trades, but in gold we only take one per my strategy. I mean, obviously, if you've got something else going on, that'll work too. Actually, I don't know if it'll work, but it will. It's possible. All right, so we got the 5-minute. Let's see if there's anything else. I don't believe that there is. No. Okay, so not much on top. Let's see now on the bottom. I've got a level right here. Not the strongest again because it just tapped right back into it. So even though we had a strong down movement, we had a very, very strong movement up, but it kind of tapped right into this level right before, so a bit of a weaker level. Now this flush down here knocked away a lot of these 5-minute levels. Like you could have mapped one here, you could have mapped one here. Again, trading opportunities. You're trying to map your levels to find areas where you can have a relatively confident system to start taking some trades. Here's a 5-minute level. Love it because it's right next to a 15-minute level. That's about it. So, and again, you're going to start to see in the charts that areas that you will start to look for trades. This to me looks like a great setup. Boom, boom, done. So take a long from 18,744. You've got a clear stop loss right here at 741. Bargain trade. You've got an area to target as your full take profit. This is exactly what it is that I am looking for right there. Give me 1 second. I'm going to fill up my coffee really quickly. All right, I'm back. All right, let's answer some questions here. So, Anthony, have you tried to use 1 hour levels versus 15-minute? Great question, and yes. So, for a period of time, I was using, when I first started to notice these, I don't even, some people call them order blocks. There's a lot of terms that are out there. I am not an ICT trader. I honestly don't think I've ever even looked at a video. I know what I call these purple gaps. They call them fair value gaps. I get all the terminology. That is not my style of trading, even though it might be what it is that I'm actually looking at. There is I understand that part. But what I noticed was that these areas where I start to draw in my levels or my lines end up having a pretty good rate of respection. That might not even be a right term. I don't think the grammar was right on that term, but I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say. And so then what I was doing was when I first started, I've been looking at this for 7-8 months now. And I only started trading these levels about 2 months ago. So that tells you that I have put in a good amount of time into looking at these things prior to me even putting anything out there. And I started with just mapping the levels and posting the levels. And I just would look at price action throughout the day and see if these areas that I had picked out get respected. And it just kept happening time after time. So I started off only on the 15-minute level, and then I added the 1 hour level. And what I found with that scenario was that, yes, the 1 hour even gets stronger, but my trading opportunities, my setups, which were scalpers, were not, I can't be in front of the charts all day, especially with this style of trading. There's nothing here that's going to automatically trade this for me. So I have a window from like 8:30 in the morning, which is my market open here in Central Time. I'm in Chicago, till about 10 o'clock. So I only got about an hour and a half window for me to take a trade. So what I figured out was the combination of the 15-minute and the 5-minute gave me at least 1 or 2 setups that I would like to look at each and every day. And, I'm able to decide which setup I like to take based on where price action is at. So price action's, on the upper end of our chart right now. So, I would be looking for a short. And I'm not trying to fight the trend, but at the same time, I'm trying to pick trades that I feel will work. And this is a perfect example. The first time it tapped into this trade, the trade would have worked out perfectly. Tapped into it a second time, tapped into it a third time. Once it taps into it more than once, forget about it. It's a setup that you missed, and move on. Move on to the next chart or move on to the next trade. So now at this point, I would only sit here patiently and see if price action comes back down here. What I'll also do is pretty much almost every hour or every 30 minutes, I will see if there's any new fresh 15-minute levels or any fresh 5-minute levels. Just so that, I can just keep building on that type of strategy. So the ES, let's see, what did we have here? All right, so tapped into this 15-minute level. I think I said a trade setup here could have been down to, oh yeah, this is the one that we were just talking about where the risk to reward wasn't the greatest, but let's just map this thing out just to see what the heck would have happened. This is what would have looked like, and I think I was right around here. So that's what I had mapped out originally. Obviously didn't take this trade. I probably would have if I wasn't going live, because it's just very difficult. I give a mad respect to the traders that can trade live. I know they have a lot more experience than I do just trading live, not necessarily market experience, but trading live. It's definitely a challenge. Not because I care if I'm wrong or not, but it's just hard to teach, map, and trade at the same time when you're live. So I accidentally entered a 15-minute Rob reversal on oil, but it's looking good so far. Okay, so that's a good question. I'm going to map out the YM when I get back here, but let me just show you guys something here. Look at this area. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside bars. This is just telling you, it's just very visual that it is a very strong level area of consolidation and market compression, at least in my opinion. Let me take a look at the Rob reversal here really quickly. No setup here. Obviously, Sam traded this in oil today. He said he did it on mistake and it's ended up working out. Now, yes, can you trade this Rob reversal on other instruments? Yes. What instruments you could trade that are profitable, I honestly don't know. It takes a lot of time back testing strategies, and I know how the NQ works. There's some pretty good movement, pretty good swings, and this style of trading fits in really well with the NQ. Now, how it works in other markets is going to be, or other instruments, is something that I personally don't know. But if you go on Discord, there are people that have tinkered with other instruments, and oil, gold, the Russell, the YM. There's other instruments out there, so it doesn't have to be the NQ. It's just the NQ is what I know. Another scenario I'll give you is we trade this on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, that is what I have found works the best for me. One, because the setups are about one a day or one every other day. So we're not taking a ton of trades. That's not necessarily what I'm looking for. But if you find yourself that this style of trading on the 15-minute time frame gets a little boring for you, you could always drop this down to the 5-minute with the same strategy, same strategy, which is actually something that I traded when I first started trading this this system. I was on the 1-minute and on the 5-minute. And if you're talking about like wanting to get a bunch of trades, that's definitely one way to do it for sure. But at the same time, you got to understand that the more trades you take, the less, I would say, quality of trades that it is. And the less, not necessarily the less quality, but you have to adjust your rules. So if we take a look at the rules for the Rob reversal, which is up here, okay, you've got the ADMA, okay. If you drop down to a lower time frame, like the 1 minute or 5 minute, this ADMA might need to be adjusted. You could probably go down. You could probably go up to the 9 EMA or the 10. You're looking for 35 points in the 15-minute time frame. You're not going to be looking for 35 points on the 5 minute or the 1 minute. So you have to make those type of adjustments if you want to trade this strategy on a different time frame. So hopefully this doesn't get me into a trade, but I'm just going to move this down to the 5 minute and then we'll see what happens here. And the reason why I say it might not get me, well, it would have got into an entry here at 8:30 to go long. Now, granted, this would have been, it's still looking for 35 points because I haven't adjusted anything here, but the strategy and the system work exactly the same way on the lower time frames. You're just going to get into more trades. And again, if I move this down to the 1 minute, you're going to see a shit ton more setups, and again, you could target maybe 10 points, 20 points on the 5 minute. You have to back test it, and you've got to make sure that what you're doing, you're comfortable with. So I'll move this back down to the 15 minute. Let this thing okay. All right, so time is it? So it's 8:57, and we got about 3 minutes left before oil session 2 begins. So we're down 250 on the eval, nothing on cash because I haven't taken a trade, which I guess was a good thing. Saved me $250 there. But hopefully oil session 2 can, and yes, Aaron, we've got housing starts at 9 a.m. So that's gonna affect here probably the equities markets, obviously a little bit more than the commodities, but then it's kind of a chain reaction from there as well. All right, let's take a look at our levels one more time. Oh, this one got really close. Let's take this out of here so we already know what we're looking for. Actually, I'll move this here. So this one, remember, we were targeting this level down here, which was this 5 minute level right here. Kind of a weaker level already just because we have tapped into it. But that's what I would have probably been targeting. And you would have got pretty close to that. Again, not the greatest trade. It's a small trade. But I'll be curious to see what happens here. All right, let's take a look at the YM, the last one for the day, just to map this one out and hopefully start to see some patterns that what I'm looking for. So let's move down to the 15 minute. What do we got? Let's see right here. I got one at 40.015. Very easy level to map. Nothing here on the downside because these have all gotten tapped into. We actually had a pretty damn big reaction to that. Let's see what else we can find here. Another question I get is how far out do you go for your levels? I go as far out as I need to find a level. Like this would have been a great one right here, but already got tapped into. So don't even have to look at it. Nothing here. So we got to go all the way down to this level right here to find another 15-minute level. And that is pretty damn far from where price action currently sits at. Now again, you will then start to, sorry, this should be solid blue. Above price action, let's see if we can find anything. That's a nice one. right here. 41.19. Here's another one. That's a nice one. All right, so we've got 4 levels mapped out already. I wish I had something a little bit right here, which would be nice, but there is nothing. So again, it kind of helps you develop a system to look for which trades that might be better setups. Now I'm on the 5-minute clear level right here. I will move this to dotted line. That's an easy one. Let's see what else we might have. We got one right up here at 40.29. I think that's about it before oh, let's see what we got here. Any levels here? Let's see what I see, what I see, what I see. It's nothing. I mean, right here, I'm just going to draw it in so you can understand. There's a level that I would have seen. Do I like this level? No. Tapped right into it already. Done. I see another level right here. Tapped into it already. Done. So that's really it. I mean, there's not really much else. And again, that tells me that the YM, to me, doesn't have a lot of opportunities right now. Yeah, I could take a short right here. Right to here, target this level. You got a stop loss right above there. So this would look something like this. 91, right there. So that's the only setup that I would see on the YM here this morning. I'll blow this up so we can see. And that's how I map these out, and that's how I'm trying to find these trading opportunities on these levels. Okay. Let's take a look and see if I'm not. Oh man, did I just miss that trade? No, I did not. Thought I missed my oil session 2 trade. Anybody got some questions? Now's a great time to ask them. We got a little bit of a slow period at this point, so don't be shy. Nice little trade there. All right, let's talk about really quickly oil inventory report. So the oil inventory report gets released pretty much every Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. There is times where if there's a holiday, that report sometimes will come out on a Thursday. I've seen it where sometimes it comes out, at like 10 a.m. So super important to have some type of financial news service that you subscribe to. I personally use Financial Juice, which is this site right here. This gives me my news every day and allows me to see what news might be impacting the trading day. So extremely important to do that. I would say that majority of traders at least know that part, that news is extremely important to know what's going on. And then don't just look at it at 7:30 in the morning or whenever it is that you're starting to trade and then close it up. Majority of those services have some type of alert feature where if there's a big high impact news that is unscheduled, for instance, something happens in a war or there is a natural disaster, whatever the scenario might be. It's good to understand that's going to have a huge impact on the market. And sometimes you'll be trading and you'll be in a trade and you get stopped out, or you take full take profit, and you're wondering yourself, how the hell did it just do that? Well, it was probably news driven. And if it was unscheduled, it means that it was something that spooked the markets one way or the other. Granted, if you subscribe to some of these services, they will give you, for a price, a subscription, or a fee, I should say, they will give you real-time news alerts. Whereas if you have the free version, there's a little bit of a delay to it. So it's up to you, treat it like a business. Sometimes you have to invest in the business to make things work for you. But again, let's just focus in on oil inventory. So oil inventory is a report that comes out pretty much every Wednesday and comes out at 9:30, and it will always cause a pretty damn big spike in the marketplace, in oil specifically. And you have to be prepared for that for several different reasons. One, there's multiple strategies that you can implement. You can reduce position sizing. I'm right now trading one E-mini contract in the CL. So you can reduce down to maybe 5 micros during that oil inventory report if there's going to be a lot of volatility and you don't want to get caught in that volatility with big position sizing. The best next thing to do is just to reduce your risk. Second thing is that you have to understand that you're more than likely you're going to have a decent amount of slippage on your take profit or your stop loss, specifically if you are in a trade while the report comes out. For instance, it's 9:07, so the report's coming out in 23 minutes. If we were to get into a trade at like 9:15 and the trade has not come to a finality prior to that report, you are going to get your take profit or your stop loss is going to get hit. One way or the other, it's going to get hit on that report. I haven't seen it not get hit just because the movements are so big. And typically you're going to get a decent amount of slippage on that spike. It could go for you or it could go against you. And that is the reason why I say that position sizing is important. Originally, I just also thought that I just wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade Wednesday oil session 2. That was my original thought process when I developed the strategy, started back testing it, and really fell in love with it. But then I also started to test and see that through my manual back testing and seeing the report come out every week that there was still an edge on the days of the report. So I continued to trade it. I've had days where the slippage has helped me, where if I'm trying to take $250 from the market gives me $290. Okay. And vice versa. If my stop loss is $250, it'll take a $300 loss because the slippage and the price action moves so damn quickly. So just be aware of that scenario. Let's see, Rob reversal. There is no setup on the Rob reversal right now. Nothing that even looks remotely close. So Sam, hopefully you're trading the NQ, but you can see on my chart here that we would not have a setup here. Elizabeth, Rob, why did you not move your stop loss on gold when it was in profit on break even? So what I like to do, Elizabeth, good question. Let me pull up the GC chart and let's get to where we took that trade, which was right here. So we were in the long, right? Let me just pull this up. This might show it a little bit easier. Give me one sec. All right, so here we got gold. Here was our setup. We got activated into the long. So that's right here. We were targeting So about a 25 tick stop loss, 25 tick take profit. So the tweak that I made to my strategy is that if it gets to 70% take profit, then I will reduce my risk in half. So I would have gone down here to 12. Well, just visually looking at this, this was not 70% take profit. This was probably, I think we were only up like maybe 14 ticks at the height. So that would have looked 12 ticks at the height. So it wasn't even at halfway to take profit yet. So it didn't really give me an opportunity to, it didn't even give me an opportunity to reduce my risk. And the reason why I do that is, it's a great question, by the way. The reason why I do that is that there's many times where, one, you will have your take profit, let's say it's at 34 ticks, and price action gets to 33 ticks and then reverses all the way down. That's a huge range, okay? A huge range. So at that point, it's better to reduce your risk in half, but you also don't want to do it too quickly. For instance, on this trade, granted, it would have worked out. If I would have reduced my risk, I would have taken only a $120 loss instead of a $250 loss. But you also need to give the trade some space. You need to give it some breathing room for it to be able to navigate the markets and move. So there's many times where price action will retrace, which is healthy, and then go straight to our take profit. So you also want to make sure that you're giving the space a little bit of room. And yes, gold is. Let me see what this. Let's see what this report came out at. Hold on one second. Let me just pull up. All right, U.S. existing home sales. Also, home sales had a big dip today. Okay. All right. I don't necessarily know that that would have really just killed the gold market here. I mean, that's a huge drop in the gold market right here. So, could be. Next candle could be a buy. Let's take a look. Rob reversal. So someone commented that, I mean, obviously we're just talking in future sake, that the next one could be a buy, which is true. It's very good to know that you are already training your eye to see the straight. I honestly don't even need the 8 AMA anymore. I can see this chart and see the setups just like in a blink of an eye throughout the day, and you'll get that way. You'll get to that point as you start trading this more and more. So yes, to go long, you would obviously need this to close as a down bar. And you're already on the upper end of the 8 AMA, so more than likely, if you get an up bar, you're going to be in a trade. So that's very good awareness of the 15-minute Rob reversal there. Oh, so yeah, so oil session 1 would have been a winner today. Let's see, 14 ticks. Yeah, so you would have got 140 bucks on session 1. I'm telling you, session 1 is on fire. Session 1 brings that total to 197 ticks up in May alone. It's almost $2,000 up. Unbelievable. Of course, the session I'm not trading. I'm trading session 2. I mean, session 2 is not terrible. It's up 70. Gold's up. Oh, wait. Let me update gold. Gold took a loser today. So gold lost, what did it lose? 25 ticks. So gold is current, no, not negative 25. Gold's up 111 ticks for May. So, and oil session 2 is up 70 ticks. Rob reversal is down 1 trade. So we're down 35 points there. And we've got oil inventory coming on in about 10 minutes. With the 15-minute Rob reversal, do you look only at the 15-minute EMA, 15-minute ADMA at all times for a position? Elizabeth, maybe if you can, I don't necessarily know exactly what you're saying, or what the question is. With the Rob, do you look only at the 15-minute EMA at all times for a position? Oh, okay. So yeah, that's for sure. I am only using the 8 EMA to qualify these trades. So it's not like I've got a secondary. I'm not looking at VWAP. I'm not looking at Bollinger Bands. I'm not looking at a different EMA. The 8 EMA seems to work really, really well on the 15-minute time frame. And it will generally get you out of some bad trades. And it will generally get you into some good trades. Now, that's not the case all the time, but it definitely helps. If you change time frames, so if you change time frames down to the, let's say the 5 minute or the 1 minute, then yes, you do have to monkey around with the EMAs a little bit. I would say probably move up to like a 9 or a 10 on those lower time frame ADMAs. I haven't traded on a 1 minute or 5 minute probably in about 8 months, so I couldn't really tell you if that if they're really, I would just have to back test it and see which one seems to filter out the trades, just because price action is moving a lot more quicker than the 15-minute bar. The ADMA kind of follows it a little bit much closer. Have you tracked your longest winning and losing streaks for these strategies? Sam, good question. Yes, so it's actually a really good question. Up until about a month and a half ago, I would say that, you typically wouldn't get more than like 2 to 3 winners in a row. And I would say that the biggest losing streak that I have seen prior to like a month and a half ago was about 4 days of just straight bad trade. And there's kind of been an anomaly in that because we have had days now. I believe oil session 1 had like a 9-day run or a 7-day run of all winners. Gold was on a very strong run. So there are some, obviously May's been great. And there's been some really, really strong days. But overall, you just kind of have to, it's all about averages, and it's all about, at the end of the day, what's working, what's not working. I get some people that will say, well, your win rate is like 67%, or, at its best, sometimes the win rate is up to like 73, 74%. And they're like, on a 1-to-1, it's not the best win rate. I get that. Here's my thought process behind win rates and 1-to-1, specifically talking about the strategy in oil and in gold. I developed these, so we got 30 seconds left for oil session 2. We currently do have an inside bar, so let me concentrate on this one while I finish off my statement on the win rates and what my belief is behind that. And of course, we're 11 minutes to oil inventory report, so as expected, we will be entering into a trade more than likely, well, I'm not going to say it. Let's just see what happens here. Looks like it's going to be a pretty small trade. 120 bucks. $120. So not the biggest trade in the world. But I'll use it. I mean, I would take the win. That's for damn sure. Nice to get a win here on, I think the last live stream that I did last Wednesday, I think both of them were losers. I think oil session 1 was a winner, and then both sessions that I took were a loser. And I'm hoping that the same future doesn't repeat itself, because oil session 1 was a winner again. All right, so just to finish off my my statement on the win rates and the strategies. Oh, that was a nice little move. So right there, you can cut you can reduce your risk down in half, so you're at like 60 bucks. Again, I would like to leave some space here, but yeah, that was a nice little movement. That's probably right. 0.75 per day. That's about right. That seems like a very accurate statistic. One of my main reasons for developing oil and gold, the way that I trade it with the inside bar, not the sexiest strategy in the world. It's not going to get you 100,000 subscribers or 100,000 likes. I don't give a shit. What the main reason why I did it was it cut away my overtrading and my revenge trading. I don't do it anymore. Like, it's not even a part of my trading plan. I don't have swings. I don't have big swings in my P&L. It's just a consistent, steady growth. And I am very happy with that, because it has developed me into a much, much, much better trader. So good, in fact, that it has given me very, very good discipline into my levels trading, where I have limited myself to one setup, one trade per day. There's not many people that trade the ES, the YM, and the NQ that can make that statement. In fact, the majority of the people that you watch on live probably take 3 trades per day, 2 trades per day. They might be profitable. That's awesome. They might have a great strategy. That's awesome. But for me, the trap that I always saw that was just constant was you would have 3 or 4 or 5 winning days, you would have a losing day, and then the next day you want to get back all of that money that you lost and then some, and then that doesn't work out. Or worse off, it does work out, and then you feel like the next time that you get into that position that you can take another Hail Mary trade and it's going to work out. It's the worst thing that can happen to a trader, is for one of those Hail Marys to actually work. Because yes, is it a great feeling? Yes. Does it give you a false sense of security? Absolutely. So that is one of the main reasons why I really love these strategies that I trade, is that you know when to take them, when not to take them, how many to take, and exactly what you're risking. So hopefully that helps. So we got 7 minutes to the report, and gosh, there's not much room in this trade. Not much room at all. Oh no. Don't do it. You look so promising. Don't do it. Don't do it. Fight it. I would love to take a win here before the report comes out. I would love it. And yes, you can scale. You can scale up, you can scale down. It's the beauty of it. You know, correct position sizing is also extremely important. It's a great comment. Come on. Come on. 5 minutes. Oh, I would love to take a win before. Oh, just take it. There it is. There it is. Yes, I don't have to even wait for the report to come out. Let's go. Let's go. That was a banger. Nice. Nice. All right, so that trade was 120 bucks, so it cut my loss in gold by a good amount. Obviously, I would have loved to be in the green today, but you know, if you're trading all three sessions, you'd probably be in the green already here this morning. But that's awesome. Let's go. All right, let's take a look at all three charts really quickly before I end the stream. Rob reversal. 15-minute Rob reversal here. No setup currently. Oh, another thing too. Let me just add this. What's my feeling towards high impact news, like the big stuff? Today's probably a good example of this. We are in an uptrend here on the NQ. Like, price action doesn't look disgusting to me, but typically leading up to a very high impact news, you start to see a lot of positioning by the big people, by the big guys. And you want to make sure you don't get caught in that constant range that you see before big news events. So what I typically like to do is I usually won't trade like FOMC. I know FOMC minutes is coming up today, so I'm like, I probably shouldn't even have the strategy turned on. And I'm probably going to turn it off, actually. So be very careful around really, really big news, especially towards the middle of the day. Because again, what I have noticed is that there is a lot of positioning in the marketplace, jockeying for position, and price action starts to get a little ugly during that time. So just heed that word of caution that I kind of give you on that one, and you might find yourself in a better spot. All right, so that's the 15-minute Rob reversal. Let's take a look at our levels and let's just see what has occurred. All right, nothing on the YM. Let's take a look at that ES trade. Let's see if that would have been a loser. Ah, of course, would have been a winner. That would have been a winner chicken dinner. So this one would have worked out really nice. If you wanted to get aggressive, there's really no, I mean, this is way too kind of aggressive in my, well, no, it's only 7.5 points. What am I talking about? That's not bad. So this could be another level down here. I mean, that would be a great trade. That's probably what, 1 to 3. But the original idea that I had here off of this level would have been, I think, a pretty damn good trade. Again, I'm waiting. I would wait to see something down here. Really like this setup down here, but more than likely probably not going to see that for a while. And then lastly on the NQ, let's see what we got here. I mean, hopefully you guys can see this and you guys can start to visually see these levels, how well the respect here happens. Now, obviously, the more it keeps tapping into it, the less respect you have. Let's go down to the 15-minute. Do we see anything? I would move this level right up to there now. This level I would delete. And that's about it. Only trading opportunity I see on the NQ is right here, guys. Right here. A retracement down to 18,744 and a bounce right back to this level. I don't know where this level even came from, but I'm assuming, oh yeah, that's a 5-minute level at 18,758. That's the only setup here that I would see. I'm not going to be able to take it just because I'm going to be off the charts at around 10 a.m. and I am going to be off to work. So hopefully you guys learned something here today. If you guys find any value on the stuff that I'm putting out, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave some comments down below. I am going to end the stream, but I will keep the I'll keep the comments open for a few minutes, just for any questions or anything else that any questions you might have. Don't be shy. Just give them to me. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Happy trading, everyone.